After about 20 days from birth, breeders will start tagging the milk calves. Currently, most of the farms in the world attach ear tags to dairy calves at this stage. This worker is preparing milk for the calves to drink. Within 24 hours from birth, all dairy calves will be separated from their mothers. This is considered a dairy industry standard. It also helps prevent infection in calves from exposure to contaminated feces. At 1 month of age, each dairy calf needs about 1.2 gallons of milk per day. This amount of milk is equivalent to 15% of their body weight. To get calves into the habit of docile self-drinking, it usually takes about the first 3 to 5 days for farm owners to get them used to bottle feeding. This is also the hardest time for workers on dairy farms in the United States. On some dairy farms that are small and have pasture for grazing, calves can live with their mothers until weaning. Dairy cows are considered fully mature when they reach 15 to 19 months of age. At this point, the average weight of a dairy cow is about 1,200 to 1,600 pounds, depending on the breed. This is the process of harvesting silage corn near a dairy farm in Tulare County, California. Currently, California is the state with the largest number of dairy cows in the country, with about 1.72 million cows. The next places are Wisconsin with 1.2 million and Idaho with 635,000. According to USDA statistics, each year dairy farms in the United States consume about 18% of domestically produced silage, which is equivalent to 23 million tons of silage. For many years now, Wisconsin has always been the largest producer of corn silage in the country, with about 23 million tons, twice the amount of corn produced in California. After about 3 weeks from harvest, millions of tons of corn silage at this farm have been used to feed dairy cows. A mature dairy cow typically eats about 30 pounds of baled hay and grain per day. In addition, about 20 pounds of silage is also consumed by them each day. This is the cleaning process at a dairy farm in Idaho. If you were there, would you be willing to do this job? The workers working at this farm will clean the ground about every 3 days. Tens of tons of cow manure will be transferred to wastewater treatment tanks before being discharged into the environment or used to fertilize fields. In 2021, there are 425 dairy farms in Idaho, with a total herd of 635,000 heads. Here's what's going on at a dairy farm in Texas. The workers here are moving bales of dry straw to inside of the farm to cover the floor. For dairy farms that are small but do not have a grazing area, this method will be used to keep the floor of the barn dry. Currently, in Texas, there are 351 dairy farms, with a total herd of about 595,000 cows. This is a dairy farm in Florida. The dairy cows on this farm are considered the happiest dairy cows in the United States. This rancher hired a band to come to his farm and play jazz music to relax his dairy cows. These dairy cows showed great interest in the musicians playing, and they did not hesitate to approach the concert area. Currently, in Florida, there are only about 50 dairy farms and 127,000 cows. Next, we will go to the milking centres to see how the milking process for thousands of cows takes place. One by one, the dairy cows will move into their positions for the workers to milk. Seen from this position, they look like spectators preparing to enjoy a football match. Before milking takes place, these workers clean and disinfect the cow's udders. Next, these devices will be fitted to the udders of the dairy cows to initiate the milking process. Milking for each cow will be done within 5 to 7 minutes. With more than 9 million dairy cows being raised, milk production in 2021 in the United States is 221 billion pounds, and the total revenue from the dairy industry is about $46 billion.